Welcome back to the Real with Joseph Labin. I am Joseph Labin. Hope you guys are having a good week this week. A little cold where I am, a little cloudy. We haven't seen the sun in a while where I am. It's getting kind of a little like, ugh, yeah. But yeah, hope you guys have a good week, and hopefully it's sunny where you are. Where I'm at here in Northeast Ohio, we haven't had much snow, but man, the sun though it just does not want to come out. We've had it one day earlier this week, and that day felt great, and then it went back away, and it's just been cloudy and cold and raining, typical winter in Northeast Ohio, and really in the north in general. It's just kind of like, all right, we'll just get this couple months over with. But no, but we'll all get through. We got each other. So, but anyways, hope you guys are having a good week. And if you're new here, hit the like button for me. Everybody hit the like button for me to weigh in. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Share this content for me. I'd really appreciate that. But the like button and the subscriptions really help grow my channel more. And so help your boy out. Hit the subscribe button. Tell people to subscribe to this channel, and you enjoy the content. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a great week. It's got some quick show for you guys today. Kind of trying some newer formats in my shows, so we'll test things out, see how they go. As you can see, I got the new background now. I got a new little layout here. So yeah, I'm trying out new things, see how I like it, and kind of learning. I'm still learning a lot of this stuff myself with the tech stuff and with the podcast and stuff. So, but bear with me, and I appreciate you guys for staying with me. And for all you who support me from the beginning, I really appreciate that. But a lot of stuff going on today, man, in the sports world. We're gonna get into that. Could do like a sports blitz. There's a lot of things going on. I wrote a ton down too. But I don't know if I get to all of it, but a lot of things going on in the coaching world, in college and in the NFL. There's a big coaching carousel going on right now. You got Ohio State, pretty much everybody but Marv and Michael Hall. Kind of what I mentioned to you guys, one of Mike and I's topic blitzes. Those are the only two I expected to go. Everybody else is coming back, and that's what's happened here. So, with Emeka Buka coming back today, we got the Browns, a big playoff game this weekend against the Houston Texans. So obviously that's a big game this weekend. One of the probably the biggest Browns game of my lifetime. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I wrote down some other things too we can get to, but really that's the big one. It's the coaching carousel. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys heard, there was breaking news today that I heard from Carcino for Life, who's another YouTuber. Shout out to Carcino. I've reported it here on my channel as well. The NBA draft is now a 2-day event, which I brought up one of our topic blitzes. I think it was on our last one, the one before that. Not a surprise there. I know there was something that happened within the last month that people were pretty certain behind the scenes that was going to happen. And yeah, now it's happening. So shout out to Carcino, and shout out to everybody who was reporting that. Although I think he's the only one I heard that was out ahead of it. And then I kind of looked into it a little bit, did my own little research, and you can kind of connect the dots, and it kind of makes sense of timing of certain things. So yeah, we brought up on our live stream too the other day. So that's going on in the NBA world. Other than that, I haven't really talked a whole lot of NBA, to be honest with you guys. I haven't really watched a whole lot that much this year. I'll probably start watching a little bit more once football's over, just to have something to watch and do. I know the Cavs are playing a lot better recently, so shout out to them. But we'll see what happens. I still think they might need to make some trades, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so now the NBA draft is a 2-day event, so I'm not surprised. And I expect some other things to happen in the future as well. Probably expansion to Vegas and Seattle, those two teams. And I could definitely see LeBron going to Vegas, that's for sure. So, yeah, he's already been linked there anyways. But that's not why I'm here today. I just wanted to cover that real quick. But we'll get back into the sports here in a minute. Trying to think. Okay, where's my notes? All right. So I wanted to come to you guys today. It's been a little while since I shared like a message, what I'm really here for. The last couple of months I've kind of just been going heavy on the sports side of it because football has just been so hot, and we've been growing there and trying out new things. The topic blitz of Mike and I, and but I've had a lot of things too in my own life, my own personal life. I've had a lot of change, a lot of adjustments, a lot of things I need to finally, as you guys have followed me for my journey, especially in the last year. I did going through the inner circle program with the anxiety guy and overcoming anxiety, GAD, and going through all of that. You kind of get like a point though in your life. You kind of have to like kind of restart in a way a little bit. You kind of have to find new things, find new habits, find new routines, find new uh, a lot of things. Now, a good thing for me is an update on myself. I guess I'll start there for you guys. Is I've been getting out further, a lot further than I have in recent, really the recent years. Like just a lot further, just getting back to normal life, like fully, fully, like you know what I mean. Like just I've shared my battle with agoraphobia, my battle with anxiety and panic and all that. But I've overcome the anxiety and panic. And I still have my moments. It's not like we just don't ever have anxiety and panic again. Everybody has anxiety and panic at some points in their life. We always have it at moments. I'm just at a point now in my life where I'm able to identify it quicker. I have a healthy relationship with it because I know what it is. I've overcame it. And I know how to get down to the root cause of things. I know the formula. And so I know the formula with that. But right now, what I've been doing the last 2 months is trying to find the formula for myself and kind of resetting myself at this new chapter in my life, the next phase, which is kind of where I've always wanted to be. But it's been a little wavy. Obviously, it's new. When you've done the same thing for the last 7, 8 years, getting out of that's kind of could be a little challenging at times because you're so used to doing the same thing. It's like Dennis always says, your lower self tries to draw you back into what was comfortable all those years, what I thought was comfortable. Right, I was comfortable living in my anxiety and kind of just letting the days go by and not really do anything, just depressed and just not really um, not trying to do a whole lot for myself. I was kind of letting anxiety control my life, and so within the last couple months, I've taken control of my what I can control, letting go of certain things, moving on from things that uh, probably weren't meant for me or healthy for me, because I felt God was telling me it was time to move on, and yeah, but it's been an adjustment, but it's been great though. Like I said, I've been going out. I've been to places. Gosh, I went to a place this week I haven't been in almost 10 years. Just getting around different, back around normal life again. So it's been great. I think, yeah, it's also just reconnecting more with my community, building more of my community, finding people, um, growing with that like finding new people. You're always looking for new people and rehindering old relationships as well. I think a lot of my relationships, suffered in the last 7 years, 7 to 9 years because of what happened, but which is normal. No one's fault. It's just kind of just like, I mean, obviously that would happen with my circumstances, but so kind of just rebuilding myself up again. It's like I get over the anxiety, go through the inner circle program, and it's kind of like, all right, kind of like clean sheet of paper now, and you kind of have to like start from the not from the bottom, but you're starting from. It's a great place to be. Now I can rebuild who I want to be. But like I said, there still is challenges within that. But what's helped me along the way is one thing. This is why I wanted to do what I do with this podcast. Like it says right there, more than anxiety. Hashtag more anxiety. And how this started with my first episode. It's just letting people know, like, hey, you're not alone. You're never alone. I think a lot of times people get stuck in their own mind and their own ways, and I could say it's because I it's me, and I still deal with it periodically, even recently. Like this week a little bit, I was just feeling a little funk, and so I think a lot of people we kind of get in their own head, we get in their own ways, we create these illusions. We feel like it's the pressure of the world that I think we allow to get to us because there's so much pressure nowadays, and I talk about that a lot on my show because it's so true. And I think it's what causes so much anxiety for so many people is that pressure. We're so worried about, oh my gosh, I'm 24. I haven't done this yet. I'm not married yet. I don't have kids yet, or I don't have a job, or some people could say I don't have a job, full time job, or I don't have a my own place, or blah blah blah. And just all these pressures, right? Or I didn't graduate. I haven't finished college yet, or whatever it is, right? Well, there's many different things. I think at my age too, especially us younger people, everybody's trying to figure it out. Everybody's fresh out of college, or they're in college, or they're about to go in college. Everybody's just trying to figure out what they want to do with their life. And so I think nowadays it's a lot more. It's just a lot more. Everything seems to be a lot more complicated because I think there's just so much pressure and expectations that for a lot of like parents place on people's schools, but society, and they're just not real. They're not reality. And oftentimes it's not what you really want to do. You know, I don't want to live a life for myself that isn't something I want to do. You know, why do I want to? Why should I? I'm not gonna. What's the point of waking up every day and trying to please other people? I mean, what kind of life is that? I mean, what the hell? I mean, that's not satisfying. That's just living like a mule. And somebody like myself, if I did that, I would just go right back to my anxiety disorder. Why would I do that? You know what I mean? It just doesn't really. God doesn't want us to live that. God has a different plan and purpose for everybody. And I think people need to start focusing more on their purpose for in life more than the pressure. And the more you do that, the more you focus on your purpose and act in that line, actions. You know, I think sometimes the way to change thought patterns, if you're going through like negative thought patterns or anxiety or you're a little down, depressed, change your behavior. And just take baby steps, right? Baby steps. And that's key. And that's kind of the theme of what I'm going to, talk about right now about finding the right formula for you. And finding that right formula is finding your purpose first. What's your true passion? What's your foundation? What's your beliefs? Right? What do you who do you want to be? That's what I've had to find out in the last, especially the last couple of months, post anxiety and you know, getting out of that program last summer and kind of just letting go. Those last 9 years of my life are over. But now it's kind of like, okay, now what do I do? So, it's kind of like I played that video that time, one of my older episodes back in the summer. It was Gilbert Arenas, and he said when he retired, he just didn't know what to do with himself because his whole life for years was playing basketball, playing basketball, playing basketball, 24/7. Right? He was told, he had a schedule. People had a schedule for him, and he was doing what he loved. And then when he lost the love for the game, he didn't want to play anymore, and injuries and stuff like that. Um, He's like, he didn't know what to do with himself. He had $100 million and he was miserable. He had all the money in the world, lived out in sunny California, out in LA, and was miserable. He would just sit and drive in traffic every day just to kill time. And he just started to realize, like, okay, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of bored. Like, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't. And a lot of NBA players, a lot of pro athletes, former pro athletes, people that had long professions for years, all stopped all of a sudden, they're retired. That's very common because you're kind of like, what do I do with myself now? And like for me, for an anxiety sufferer, once you get out of anxiety, your whole life for years, or whatever it's been, was anxiety and day to day to day, and living in that anxiety habitual world, and once it's over, you're kind of like, what do I do now? You feel kind of like lost, and that's normal. It's normal to feel this way. It's normal to feel that way if you're going through it. Kind of what I've been going through. It's completely normal. And it's like actually a great place to be. But again, it's finding the right formula for you. So what's your purpose? Right. And I think my purpose here is what I'm doing now today with the show. And that's why I've gone full blown all in on my podcast because it's my purpose. Yeah, I may do other things, other jobs, but this is always gonna be my true purpose is this. And so what's your purpose, right? And finding the right formula for you. That's very key. But also be your true self. Finding your purpose is what's your talents, what's your skills, what's the seed God planted within you that He has for your life. That what does God want you to do for your life? What are your passions? Do you like helping people? How do you like helping people? I know serving is a great way to help yourself. Is serving others. What we're here to do is serve and help others. So what are ways you can serve? What are your skills? You have to really ask yourself, like, how can I serve? Can I do a podcast? Do you have experience like me with something? Share your wisdom with people, and you'll find that in every other area in your life too. Like I do this podcast talking about anxiety, but through this, I found in many other areas of my life now because people know about me, what I do. So even people in my family know more about me now. I become kind of like, even in private world, outside of the show, somebody that I still help people with anxiety away from the show. And people, I find myself in moments all the time. Like God puts me in moments where people need my help at that moment. And so, again, that's purpose. And is it easy at first getting back in the routine and stuff? No, and trust me, I know that I'm going through that. I've been going through it, readjusting. But it's safe though. That's the biggest thing. I think a lot of people just don't feel safe and secure because people don't feel safe and secure with themselves because of the pressure of the outside world, and they don't feel like we're always comparing ourselves to something or someone that isn't realistic, doesn't apply to us, that God doesn't want us to focus on at all. And so, um, yeah, find your real purpose. I need to drink water. That's my purpose right now, is drink some water. By the way, it's a monster Yeti cup that my mom and dad got me for Christmas. Shout out to them. Love the gift, but it is a mean bottle of water, I can tell you that. I don't run out for a while. So anybody knows me, I'm a big water drinker, and I have my own water resource in my house, a good clean water. So this thing comes in handy. But some high quality H2O. But anyways, but yeah, finding realistic, finding your passion and your purpose, right? Taking those baby steps and finding who you want to be, your true self. Who do you want to be? But lastly, my last point in this topic about finding the right formula would be, what are some realistic expectations for you for where you are right now? Right. And so, like for me, for instance, I had to ask myself a lot recently. Okay, Joseph, here's what you just came out of. Here's what you've been dealing with. Here's what you've been working through. What can you do right now that you can control, things that are available to you that won't push you too far, right? They're baby steps. It's a gradual increase to get you back in the flow of things, to becoming who you want to be, post anxiety. What are some things you can do? And then you just do them, right? You make a plan. And the first time you do new things again, they're gonna be the hardest. But after you do it the first time, you'll start to get a feel for it. You start to get reacclimated with things. And again, it's proving safety to that lower self. And this isn't anything like you're proving safety to yourself. You're proving confidence to yourself. You're proving, it could be safety, it could be confidence, it could be security, it could be, self-empowerment, like I am capable of doing this. So what are some realistic expectations for you where you are in your life right now? So, and take those baby steps, write out a plan, journaling's great. Meditate, meditate throughout the 1 or 2 times a day. These are all things that help me find the right formula, and how it'll help you find the right formula as well. What's your real purpose? Purpose over pressure, like I said, right? So let me recap. So, what is your purpose? Finding that purpose, like I detailed. What are things you're passionate about? How can you serve? How can you give back? What do you like to do? Do you like sports? You want to cover sports? What is your purpose? And start investing baby steps into that. Um, who is your true self? Who do you want to be? And how can you apply that how can you act that person out right now? How do you act as that person every single day in the things you do with your purpose? See, they all go in hand, but each step, they all go together, but it's baby steps. How can I take baby steps towards that? And number 3, what are some realistic expectations for me that I can do right now? Again, taking baby steps from where I am. And I think the last thing, though, the key to all this, though, guys, what's helped me is just having grace upon yourself. Lower your expectations. That's why I say having realistic expectations, and just take it one day at a time. You're not that far behind. You're not alone. You're not behind. You're not behind at all, really. Actually, you're not behind. A lot of you, especially people with anxiety that have overcame anxiety, like myself, wherever you are, like don't compare yourself. You're far ahead in your journey. You're on your journey. And because like somebody like me, people that have overcame anxiety and panic, for somebody out there that's going through that, you've overcame it, man. I have to realize, and I still don't realize this sometimes, but people tell me all the time, like, man, the life lessons you've had, the things you've had to endure and go through, you're so much further ahead now in your life because of it. And that's something I had to focus on daily. Like, I am that person now. I am that dude. Like, I am the person that I knew I was all deep down inside all along. And man, I did overcome a lot of that stuff. And I give myself, uh, I give myself a gratitude for that. I have gratitude for what I went through. I give myself, it's okay to praise yourself, not like in a glorification way, like idolatry, but like it's okay to pat yourself on the back and have confidence and like, hey, you know what? I am that guy. That's what winners do. Winning attitude. If you ever play sports, like that Mama Mentality book up there, winner mentality, right? And so, but again, it's that having that mentality and taking those baby steps, and that'll lead you in the right direction to where you want to be. Not focusing on things we can't control, people in the outside world, pressure, expectation, what the world says we should be doing by this age, we should be doing X, Y, and Z. All that stuff's BS. Blot that stuff out. You're never going to find the right formula for you. And this is a good message for me, reminder for me. We're never going to find it as people. We focus on those things because we're aiming towards things that are probably aren't really meant for us. You think about it. And like I said, if you understand God, even if you don't believe in God, we're all different in a way. There's reason why none of us, we all look differently. We all have different things about us. Everybody's unique and special in their own way. And if you look at it from that standpoint, everybody has probably their own little purpose. And yeah, some people might do the same things, maybe go down the same roads. My road was different than maybe others, maybe most people watching. But everybody has their own road and their own purpose and their own thing in life, their own formula in some way, right? There's always some differences between everybody. And so, which is why God made it that way. That's why it was perfect the way God created. Because if everybody was the same, this place would be boring. We'd be going crazy. So, and there wouldn't be all the unique things we have in the world that we like. And so, yeah, I mean, and so that's a message to you guys today for the first half of the show. Just finding the right formula for you and kind of sharing that message because it's kind of what I have been going through, finding that right formula for me post anxiety. And so I want to share with you guys today, just as it's a good reminder for everybody too, because I have to remind myself as well, like, hey, don't focus on the pressure of what's going on. Don't put pressure on yourself. Forget all what the world says and what people say. People may tell you all the time you can do X, Y, and Z, and find people around you that you know have good intentions, right? And you're not taking it personal every time they say something. And you shouldn't take things personal anyways. But find people around you that are vested in you, want to see you grow, and are trying to help you. Don't be around people that constantly want to nag and tell you what to do, and you need to do this, this, and this, and this. And if you're, what are you doing? Like, try to put pressure on you, make you hurry up, and it just makes you overwhelmed, and it just leads to more anxiety, more pressure, more tension, more depression, more, just more keeping you in that negative space. You don't want to sit there for that long because you just dwell in that place. And so, yeah, that's a message for that part of the show today. Finding the right formula for you, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about it. What's helped? So what are some things that maybe helped you guys? I'm always curious myself of what helps other people. I'm really like when you guys give me feedback. Either you want to leave a comment or hit me up privately. What helps you guys in your life? Because I can learn from you guys too. And so, yeah, leave a comment below. Love to hear your feedback. So I'm going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'll do a very quick little sports break, topic blitz real quick, and then we'll get up out of here.
Because people put labels on you, so sometimes people believe them. After a lot of, constantly people saying, oh, you're this, you're that, you'll never do this, you'll never be like that, whatever. Sometimes
I think this is important. I wrote this down right here because this is key for people our age, especially somebody like me who's 23, single. Is don't wear the labels the world might say you are. And, so people could tell me in my life, some of the things in my personal life, obviously because we're good friends, but certain things maybe I haven't achieved yet because of what happened to me, just, because of circumstances. But if I were to keep wearing that label of I don't have X, Y, and Z yet, or, if I would go by the world standards and the pressure, and sometimes even your own family, and, he even said in the sermon earlier, he said, sometimes the wisest thing for you to do, nobody will agree with you. Literally nobody. And that could be it could be everybody around you. But as long as you listen to the voice and you can feel that conviction, why should you be afraid? Why not? What's there to be? What I mean? That should give you somewhat of a confidence, and that's hard to do because when everybody around you is telling you what to do, you can start to wear I could have started to wear those labels and started to, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today though. I can tell you that I'd be in a deep, deep hole. So I guess kind of what we talked about this in our last episode we did too, back I think it was like in October.
Yeah.
About being bold and courageous, and because that's really what it is. I think surrendering, it takes a leap of courage, of faith. And so I guess kind of what are the things that have helped you in your past, or what some words of encouragement people out there, especially our age, watching about you know, being bold and courageous, and not wearing your past, not wearing the labels and all that?
It's something that's, it's easier said than done, but you definitely have to try to surrender it all to God. Just giving it to Him, laying at the foot of the cross, and just trusting Him through it all. Because when people put labels on you, sometimes people believe them. After a lot of, constantly people saying, "Oh, you're this, you're that," you know, you'll never do this, you'll never be like that, whatever. Sometimes you believe them, after hearing it enough, and then at the end of the day, it's just lies. But you have to trust that, you know, Christ is going to set you free, as He said He will. You just got to take the first step and surrender it to Him first before He takes it, because He's not going to do it forcefully. He's going to do it. He wants you to take the first leap of faith.
All right, welcome back. I got my hater blockers on because it's sports time and the Browns in the playoffs, and I'm blocking out all the Joe Flacco, any Browns hate, negativity. Got to put my blockers on. We're winning the bowl this year, so but I'll start there. So the Browns will take on the Houston Texans this weekend in Houston. C.J. Stroud's been playing well. He's back. Was the last time we played him a month ago? He wasn't there. He was out with an injury, but he's back playing well. I got the Browns though. I think the Browns are just too much for the Texans. I think they're too big and physical up front. I think they'll just kind of maul them a little bit as the game goes on and kind of wear on them. And I don't think Houston's secondary is as good. They got Derek Stanley. But last time we played them, you watched them too. Even the Colts game, I thought the Colts gave away a lot of opportunities. I like the Browns a lot. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. But I like the Browns a lot. In that game, I think it's a bad matchup for the Texans. So I got the Browns 34 to, I think, 21 is what I said. 34-21 Browns. I like that score on Saturday. So I'll take the Browns 34-21. That will probably lead the Browns end up playing the Ravens. And I like the Browns in that matchup too, looking ahead, because I think the Browns are just a bad matchup for everybody. I think the only team that I'm really worried about is Buffalo. And that's because Josh Allen going to use his legs. He's probably got the best arm out of all the quarterbacks we're going to play out of Lamar and Stroud and Josh Allen, although Stroud can really slant. And Lamar's gotten better, although Lamar, though, in the playoffs still has yet to prove he can throw the ball in tight windows consistently, which is why they're 1-3 with him in the playoffs. Because in playoffs, things are different. Teams are different. They play you differently. The game slows down more. And it's more of a chess match. And the Browns have a lot of the best chess pieces, really. And they're just the complete defense, the line of scrimmage play, Joe Flacco now. They've really established more of the run game recently in the last couple of weeks. Before they sat guys out, they cleaned that up, which I liked. Jerome Ford's getting it going a little bit more. Kareem Hunt's doing what he's always done. But David Njoku is just a mismatch right now for everybody. And I think David Njoku has been, everybody wants to give praise to Joe Flacco, as you should, and he deserves that. He's been the quarterback they've always needed. But I think David Njoku, because of Flacco, but the way David stepped up in the last month is what's made them an elite, dangerous Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. I think they're a real contender because of Njoku's ability to what he does on the field, his abilities. He's just a complete mismatch for other teams. It's kind of like what Kansas City, everybody knows Pat Mahomes and his arm and his talent. He's such a great quarterback. But Travis Kelce is such a mismatch. That's what makes them and that elite team. That's why they won 2 Super Bowls. Because Travis Kelce, he's like a receiver more than a tight end, and he's a bigger one. He's a mismatch. And I think David has found that. That's why David, excuse me again. Man, my throat's dry. It's a little dry in this room sometimes. I need to get something in here. But David's yards after the catch has been, I think he's top 10 in the league for sure. I don't know if he's number 6, 7, or 8, somewhere in that range. But his yak is so good after his yards after the catch is so good. It makes him so dangerous that for a football team, it takes the pressure off the quarterback so much more. And it makes things so much easier and puts so much pressure on the defense, all the pressure, really. And he's just such a mismatch because if you try to double him, you leave Amari open or Elijah Moore open. If you try to put a linebacker on him, he's going to blow right by him. You try to put a safety on him, that's a mismatch there, too. He's just a mismatch all over the field. And he's just bigger, faster, and stronger than everybody. And his yards after the catch is ridiculous. So, and Stefanski's done a great job getting him the ball in different ways as well. He's the guy you want to get the ball in his hands, especially early on in the game. So, I like the Browns in this run. I think they can make it all the way to the Super Bowl because I think they're just bigger, more physical, and stronger up front. And just David Njoku and Amari Cooper and Joe Flacco and that defense. And the coaching has been great. The best coaching staff in the league, in my opinion, from top to bottom. They're just very deep. And their coaching staff as well. Stefanski's done a nice job this year. Probably should be coach of the year again for the second straight time. So I like the Browns. I like the Browns there. I really feel good about this game this weekend. Like I said, 34-21 Browns. Looking around the NFL today, though, moving on, though, before I get out of the NFL, we'll finish up with some college ball. The NFL coaching carousel is something else. So Bill Belichick and New England parts ways. What was kind of expected. We've been saying it on this show for a while that we expected to see that. Mike Vrabel out of Tennessee, probably going to take the New England job, in my opinion. I think it makes sense. I thought Vrabel's comments earlier in the year when Tennessee played New England were very telling to me. Just kind of like almost like he was lobbying for the job in a way. So I think Vrabel ends up in New England, which makes sense. He's a legend there. They love him there, and I know that my family's from New England. I know how the culture is up there. They like their own. He's a Patriot from Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, but and a Mr. Buckeye. But he's the guy up there in New England as well in the Hall of Fame. So I can see Mike Vrabel taking that job. Now people are saying Belichick to Washington or Atlanta. I could see Washington because that's where he's from. I've always thought that if I were the Jets, I would look at Bill Belichick personally. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I think Jim Harbaugh, another name, probably going to leave Michigan. I think he'll be an LA Charger. He'll be the LA Chargers head coach in the near future, probably by the end of next week or very soon, because I think he wants to get that out of the way soon, just for, just to be courteous of the Michigan to be courteous for Michigan as well. To Michigan as well, if that makes sense. If I could spit that out. But because, they got recruiting still going on in college. You want to get Sharon Moore, who's probably going to take over from him at Michigan. Let him get in there and get acclimated, get his recruiting going. So I expect Harbaugh with the Chargers here very soon. Now, some of the other teams that are interesting to me, Vegas. If I were Vegas, to be honest with you, I'd probably run it back with Antonio Pierce. The players like him. The fans like him. They played much better with him. I think you give him another full off season to let him run his program the way he wants to run it. I would go with Antonio Pierce personally. If I were the Raiders, I do think though there's a slim chance. I heard this rumor before the season. I don't know how true it is, but about Lincoln Riley going to the Raiders. That would be interesting to me. If the Raiders can get their hands on Caleb Williams somehow in the draft, depending on what the Bears want to do. If I were the Bears, I would keep Fields and trade the pick personally, or try to get Marvin Harrison. But if the Raiders can somehow move up and get Caleb Williams, maybe if they hired Lincoln Riley, that was a rumor before the season. How credible that is now, how much traction that has. But if I were the Raiders, I'd probably keep Antonio Pierce. If I were them, some other names. Now, obviously, Pete Carroll retired. That's a big name that retired. Legendary coach Pete Carroll. Kind of expected though. I mean, he's gotten older. He adapted well, but you kind of not surprising though. He's older, so he's retired now. But Seattle, I think, is a great job opening for whoever takes that job. It's a well-ran organization, and Pete's leaving behind a great program. So other names out there, though, some other potential head coaching candidates. I think Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, Dan Quinn, who the DC for the Cowboys, Raheem Morris, the DC for the Rams, Eric Bieniemy, the OC for the Commanders, and Anthony Lynn, who was a assistant head coach for the San Francisco 49ers, who also was the head coach for the Chargers way before Brandon Staley got there. And I thought they were better under Anthony Lynn, to be honest with you. I thought they were more competitive. They had a lot more success in the playoffs. They didn't make it all the way or couldn't get past New England some years, but I thought they were a lot better and just better team. I think Anthony Lynn with another job at the right organization, maybe like Seattle, I think would do well. So Anthony Lynn's another name, but give me a lot to look forward to in the right there in the coaching carousel. A lot going on there. So it's gonna be a lot to keep up with this offseason. There's gonna be a lot of movement going on, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But lastly, with Ohio State, like I said, we'll go moving on to college. I think Ohio State, they're doing a nice job in the portal, bringing all the guys back, bringing Will Howard. I think Ryan Day just needs to, kind of probably tweak his offensive staff. Obviously, I think he's going to bring in a whole new staff, new guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see a name like Press Taylor as the OC or a candidate for that. I've even seen Tony Alford, the running back coach already from Akron. Maybe he becomes the OC. So I think Ryan needs to find a whole new offensive staff. I think that's what he needs to find and kind of go from there. He's got to get that done. You can't have all these first timers on his staff again with all this new talent they brought in because they still recruited well. They've done a nice job bringing all the guys back, done a nice job in the recruiting in the transfer portal. So he needs to bring in the right coaching staff with experience, in my opinion, and I think they'll be okay. And they can bounce back next year. Next year is a perfect year to bounce out with Harbaugh gone, Saban gone, 12-team playoff. It's perfect for Ryan Day to save his job. So, but other than that, I like what they've done, and we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, I like what they've done. But woo, I was talking fast there. But that's my sports blitz for you guys. It's kind of all I got for you today on that side of it. I got more coming up. Mike and I do next week. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Like I said, it's a quicker one, newer format. So let me know what you think. And yeah, especially the first segment. Find your right formula for you. So love all you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe button for me. Share this content. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. Love all you guys. I'm out. Gone.